Year. Happy holidays, everyone, from 2K Sports as we get set to bring you some mid-season NBA action. Possessions can't end until somebody grabs a rebound. Greg, two of the best on the boards are facing off tonight. They prioritize rebounding.
And getting those extra possessions can really break a team's will. When excellent rebounding teams play, everyone has to work a little harder to secure the ball. Nice play by Edgecombe. He has the strength and body control to finish.
Here's Curry. Rebounded by Rodman. Here's Edgecombe. His three-pointer's off the mark. Williams scanning the floor. And he drives in. Outside for Curry. Curry with another miss. About 1 minute into the first quarter. Knipple with the bucket.
Nice pass by the rookie Bailey. They love seeing Ace set up others.
They kick it out to Green. Booker outside. And here is Curry. Again, Curry missing.
Well, he usually brings rain from there, but not this time.
Pass to Rodman. Can't get it to fall. Now here's Williams. There's the three. Dennis Rodman pulls it in.
That was their fourth straight miss to start this game. Not ideal.
Knipple, no good. We're just about 2 minutes into the first quarter. On the wing, Booker. Outside, Green. Shot clock at 6. Outside, Williams. Up again to stop the drought. And the rejection by Lively. And they're moving it up. Here's Rodman. And the jam by Dennis Rodman.
And running with a full head of steam, but completely under control.
In this league, you run whenever you can. It's so much easier to score in transition.
And so Steve Kerr decides to call a timeout. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan. Both teams making some changes here. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. White looking around. Davis sets a screen. Inside. And stolen by Mobley. Here's LeBron. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
First personal foul.
It's on Mitchell Robinson.
The feel LeBron has for the game, unreal. Whatever situation he finds himself in, he always seems to have an answer.
First free throw is good. But LeBron's playing days are over, and GA, who knows when that'll be. What will you remember most about his play?
You know, I don't think there's ever been a player who came into the league with such lofty expectations and not only met those expectations, but fair to say, he's exceeded them.
Now here's White. Pass to Anunoby. Shoots over Caruso. And the shot will not go from Anunoby. We're now joined by our sideline reporter, Allie LaForce. Allie, it's all yours.
Jamaal Mosley gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. We spoke about the challenge of facing Anthony Davis. Coach commented, there aren't a lot of guys like AD, bigs who can control both ends of the paint. We have to be aware of him at all times, or he's going to take over the game. No doubt Davis will be a factor tonight. Guys?
We appreciate it, Allie. Thank you. Pass to Giddey. 5 to shoot. Takes it inside. Anunoby in the corner. And here is Murray. Giddey defending. Murray left side. To the paint to stop the run. And it's White missing.
Well, the defense did just enough to force that miss because he is a good finisher.
Here's Giddey. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. Here's Anunoby. Tries again. Nice move. And Davis throws it down.
Yeah, I love the work ethic there by AD. He just committed to out-hustling everybody.
Giddey with it. Hasn't made one yet. Here's James. Makes it off the glass.
Oh, textbook pick and roll there. James doing a great job breaking down the defense.
And Jose Alvarado is going to pick up a foul. That's his first foul.
First team foul. Substitution on the court.
Down low. Here's Murray. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. And never break an all-star, but he is a star. Jamaal Murray can flat out play.
And he's had his hurdles to overcome with injury over the years, but he's never one to shrink from a challenge, and he remains a prolific shot creator.
Here's Miller, and it's Miller with the jam.
Oh, easy money for Miller. He just generates offense.
There's a screen to the inside. Landale. Rodman with the block. Here's Edgecombe. Pass to Miller. Over in the corner, Caruso. 6 on the shot clock. To the middle. Bailey misses. Ingram left side. Outside Harper.
2 minutes.
Kicks it out to Siakam. Rodman with the block.
And the thing about Rodman, he's more of a position player defensively, but that time reaching up to swat it away.
Now here's Harper. He has yet to score.
Substitution on the court.
1:46 left here in the opening quarter. Pass to Knippel. Sinks the triple. Knippel's got 5.
So lethal off the catch. Knippel is good at just finding space and then timing it quickly.
Now here's Curry. The shot from 20 feet away. That's good on the jump shot.
And he gets one to fall, and now 1 out of his first 4.
1:06 left to play in the first quarter. There's the drive. Here's Rodman. It's good for his second make. He's made 2 or 3 so far.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Now Curry. Malone in the high post. Pass to Knippel. Out to Miller. Now Bailey. It's stolen by Green. To the inside. Booker. Rodman with the defensive effort.
And even though he didn't get a piece of that shot, you love the pressure he puts on the shooter.
And sometimes that's all you need to do to force that miss.
Here's Kneppel. 5 points in the game. Just 5 on the clock. And it's out. Nice touch by Curry.
You love the pressure he's putting on them. Almost had that steal.
He is just trying to make an impact by disrupting their rhythm.
And a deep three from Doncic. Rebound by Williams. It's Curry outside. And the last-second attempt doesn't fall. And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. Guys, what's your take on the home team so far?
Stingy on the defensive end in that first quarter. They were just getting up into people.
Well, it's hard to get stops in this league with so much talent offensively. I love what they are doing right now.
Now here's Thompson. Outside Harper. The screen from Thompson. On the wing, Thompson. And it's sent back by George.
And look, you got to remember, Paul George originally made a name for himself in this league with his defense.
It's Miller on the wing. Back to Towns. In the corner, it's Mobley. And here's Doncic from the arc. Siakam pulls it in. Inside. Deflects the pass. And now the fast break. George with the ball. Doncic, no good. And here is Harper. No scoring in this one. Siakam's shot is off. Takes a step back. George with the ball. Picked up by Thompson. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
And so Steve Kerr decides to call a timeout, looking for a breather and maybe adjusting a thing or two. A lot of the best defensive teams in the league have some stout zone looks they can go to. Where do those in a game come in handy?
I mean, often it's a way of challenging opponents to make perimeter shots, but also you want to show different looks just to kind of disrupt the rhythm of a team's offensive flow.
Well, Williams is a threat anywhere on the floor. The defense can't give him that much room, inside or out.
Now, here's Caruso. Scoreless thus far. Pass to Malone. The kick out to Williams. Oh! Booker with the bounce.
Guys like Devin Booker are just natural-born scorers. They're always going to figure out a way to get their points.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. To the paint. Here's Bailey. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Bailey's got his first points of the night.
So much versatility. Bailey does so many things to help you succeed.
Booker in the corner. Rebounded by Bailey.
Gotta knock down that shot. When you don't, you're letting the defense off the hook.
On the wing, Giddey. Pass to Bailey. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Bailey's got his second bucket.
And with his endless length, Ace Bailey's a good option down low.
There's always a need for shot makers in the NBA, GA, and that's what Ace Bailey brings to the fore.
Yeah, Bailey has a smooth jumper with a high release point that allows him to shoot over just about any defender. And when you pair that with his physical tools, his upside is through the roof.
Back to Lively. Can't hit from in close. Curry looking it over. Pass to Malone. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. Malone's got his first points of the game. And now let's swing it over to Allie LaForce on the sideline.
Thank you, guys. Derek Lively uses his mobility to his advantage. He said, quote, "I like to turn the game into a track meet because I can't out-muscle anybody. But I can definitely get around people, I can outrun them, and I have to be able to use my stamina and energy to get up and down as much as I can." Guys?
Smart approach. Allie, as always, we appreciate your reporting. Growing up in Arizona, Jalen Williams, Jim, was not an elite prospect.
Well, most stars in this league were blue-chip recruits coming out of high school. But, Kevin, not Williams. He spent 3 years in college developing his game, and he has worked his way into an all-star.
Now, here's Doncic. Anything on the board. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen.
When a pick like that is questionable and creates that much of an advantage for the offense, you have to blow the whistle.
Well, oftentimes illegal screens fall into a gray area, but that time he got called for it.
Here's White.
Perfect timing. Gets into the passing lane, and then he's off the other way.
On the wing, Davis. Outside for Murray. Down low. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. And as we've seen, Greg, navigating this age of social media can be difficult for an NBA player.
Yeah, a momentary indiscretion can get broadcast to the whole world. So there's a need for caution that's probably higher than in decades past.
Now, here's Mobley. Rodman with it. 6 to shoot. To the paint. Mobley misses. They've got a chance to cut the deficit to within 10. Davis. And they get it back. Had a chance there to cut it to single digits, but it's off target. Here's Edgecombe. Here's the screen. And the dunk by Edgecombe.
And man, this kid, Edgecombe, is special. He just gets off the ground so fast to throw it down.
Here's Edgecombe. And Derek White picks up the foul. That's his first foul. And talking to Con Kniffel, Greg, he has a burning passion to be great. You can just tell him.
Yeah, he gets up before everyone else and goes to work. Some people have called him an old soul, just very mature and disciplined. A top 5 pick in the draft, Con Kniffel is a polished rookie. Can play either guard spot. I love his future.
He's as good as it gets at the line. Pretty much automatic.
Now, here's Harper. Still without a basket. pass to Kneppel. To the inside. Pascal Siakam grabs the miss. In the corner, it's Ingram. Poke loose. Stolen by George. Doncic outside. And the layup falls. Doncic has got his first basket of the night.
And inside, Luka knows the bucket is there, so he is willing to fight for it.
They're whistled for a blocking foul, and he'll head to the line.
And working, Kevin, themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
No luck that time either. The offensive skill set for Karl Anthony Towns, Greg is a 7-footer, is very special, to say the least.
The outstanding shooting, the post play, and he's worked on his defense. He may never be elite at that end, but he ignites an offense.
And the first one at the line is good. And as the days and months go by, Greg, it still may take us some time to get over the shock of last season's trade of Luka Doncic.
And we know the question marks as far as conditioning and defense that led to it, but hard to bet against the talent of his caliber.
Siakam, no stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. It's on Luka Doncic. And despite all the accolades, GA, is it possible that Pascal Siakam is underrated?
Absolutely. Spicy P is one of the best two-way players in the league. Exceptionally versatile, and his impact goes beyond his impressive stat line.
Outside, James. Pass to Towns. That one's not going to go.
Timeout.
And so Steve Kerr decides to call a timeout. He's going to have a discussion on the sideline.
And they just can't seem to get going offensively.
Right now, as a coach, you're looking out on the floor and you're wondering, do I have the right five on the court together?
Substitution for your home team.
A dominating first half. Half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Leading by 17. We're going to step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after our halftime.
Team 34. The visiting team 17.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. Now, here's Curry. Booker in the corner. And there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
That's going to draw a whistle every time down the floor. Not even close to being a legal screen.
Well, my feeling is you just want to make sure it's called consistently both ways.
Now Edgecombe. Pass to Kneppel. Bailey with the ball. Rodman sends a screen to the middle. Malone with the steal. And now it's Green running. He can go all the way.
Now, look at the hustle there from Draymond, leaving it all on the floor.
Here's Edgecombe. To the wing on the left. Clock at 6. Inside. Here's Rodman. And Dennis Rodman with the slam.
Yeah, he gives up a few inches for most of his matchups, but his ability to rise above always gives him a chance.
They kick it out to Green. Booker outside. And the three off target. They have been really controlling this one.
You never want to be complacent on the floor. That's when you lose momentum. Strong work inside by Kneppel, proving he's more than just a jump shooter.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Malone down low. And the layup's good off the glass.
Well, what a steady presence offensively and a very difficult player to game plan for.
Here's Knipple. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Knipple's got 4 points in the quarter.
I like the way they've established their offense to start the half. 3 straight makes.
And here is Curry. Stolen by Rodman. Here's the break. Curry with the steal. And here's Booker from the arc. Rebounded by Bailey.
Not quite enough defense that time around. Just lucky he was off.
In the corner, it's Rodman. With the putback. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. Bailey's got 9.
With good instincts and length, Bailey is a plus offensive rebounder.
Curry with a wide open look. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist.
And we're playing about as much defense as they did there. Not nearly enough.
Let's check in now with our Allie LaForce, who's got a story for us. Allie?
Thank you. So what's the difference between the diehard fans and the casuals? Well, Kevin Durant said some fans get programmed to just think about free agency and drama, and they only care about the finals and players' legacies. But he's hoping the fans lock in on the game itself, not just the storylines. Back to you, Kevin.
You know, that's a good point. All right, Allie, thanks a lot. Here's Williams, and Williams throws it down.
And that whole break was triggered by Steph Curry's defense coming up with the steal.
Pass to Green. Back to Booker. Fires from deep. Knipple with the rebound.
And another miss. Ooh, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right. Right side, Williams. Over Bailey. Edgecombe with the steal. Here's Rodman. Pass to Knipple. And there's the call on Devin Booker. That's his first foul.
First team foul. Substitution on the court.
And they double up Doncic. Mobley wide open. Great positioning on the putback.
How about the work ethic there of Towns? He's great at positioning himself on the glass and just outworking the opponent.
To Davis. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And there are a few players who can dominate on both ends, but Anthony Davis is certainly among them.
Yeah, he's one of the most dynamic defenders in the game, Kevin, and offensively, he can hurt you in a multitude of ways, whether it's off the dribble, posting, or facing up.
And over 3 years in high school, Anthony Davis shot up from being 6'2" to 6'10". But Greg, he brought those guard skills with him.
And Kevin, that transformation as a pro also significant. Adding over 30 pounds to his frame. And with his wingspan over 7'5", he is a physical presence.
And it's slammed in by Davis.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of this from Davis, playing above the rim.
Down low. Here's Mobley. And Mobley throws it down.
Flying high and throwing it down with the one-hand.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. Now here's White. Still yet to score. Right side Davis. Mobley with the block.
That's the defensive player of the year there. Mobley with the denial, making sure the ball didn't get to the rim.
Pass to White. Left side Davis. Paul George with the steal. Doncic feeling it out. So, Tim, and I can see it in my mind's eye, you won that three-point contest back in '96. What's the key to success in that event in particular?
Oh, yeah, what a great night. And I think, Kevin, there's a few things. First, I just think you've got to have a short, compact release because then you're not going to rush at the end to make sure you get all 25 balls up. But I also think part of it, for me, I got to shoot first after the warm-up introductions because I was still loose. I didn't have to sit there for 20 or 30 minutes during commercial breaks. I think that helped me win the title that night.
A little strategy. Pass to Landale. Missed inside.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Here's Doncic. Up and in on the layup. Doncic has got 8 points.
Creating space, Doncic will move defenders around. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Siakam for 3.
Pascal Siakam.
That falls. Nice speed that time from Harper.
Well, those are the ones you're happy to get every trip down the floor if you can.
And here's Doncic from the arc. Here's Lively. And finished off by Lively.
And the second chance becomes a dunk. We could feel over here.
GA, such a good, aggressive play in the paint. And a wide open look for Siakam. Off target from three-point range. Now, here's Doncic. Off target at the rim.
It's been a rough quarter for him. I think patience can help. Take the shots that are there. Don't force it.
And Siakam throws it down.
Timeout home team.
A high-level athlete with underrated burst. Siakam continues to impress with his ability to finish.
And so the timeout by Jamal Mosley here. Coach needs a moment to talk things over. Both teams will make substitutions. There's 18 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Pass to George. Off on the layup. Here's Davis. No good with the layup. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Up 19. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter. And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. Now, Giddey. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. It's going to be on Jamal Murray.
And he just kept working. Giddey felt the whistle coming and able to finish the play.
Greg, we have another up-and-comer from down under, Josh Giddey.
I mean, a lot of young talent coming to the NBA by way of Australia. Their great skill development programs showing in Giddey, who stands 6'8", but plays like a small point guard.
And it's Davis missing.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in cracking this huge lead.
Here's Giddey. From down in the low post, it goes. Giddey's got 4 points this quarter.
And how about the body control? Giddey refusing to let the defense alter that shot.
Here's Murray. Pass to Robinson. And then Robinson slams it in.
Whenever he gets that close to the hoop, he finishes with authority.
He takes it in. Count the basket.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Murray left side to the inside. And the call on the shot sends him to the line. When you think about elite offensive players, Tim, what's one area that can really put them over the top and into a completely different category?
I think it's those guys that have a willingness to move without the basketball. If you have a willingness to run and cut and re-space, it's going to create a lot of problems for a defense.
Has that even become more of a thing now as you watch these high-octane space and pace type offenses?
There is no question. It's become something that's a priority for teams now. And I also think the ingenuity of these young coaches creates a better flow offensively if you're willing to run without the basketball.
That's terrific. And the dunk by Robinson.
And that's exactly the type of pass we expect from a guy with his vision.
Doncic outside, into the lane, and Towns gets it to go. 6 points for Karl Anthony Towns.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
Well, the way this game has gone, I'm actually not surprised it was that easy for him.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Here's Doncic to the paint, and Mobley throws it down.
Making it look easy. Mobley using that size at the rim.
And it's Green, missing. Pass to LeBron. Robinson pulls it in. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Offensive rebound. Back to Curry. And stolen by James. Here's Towns. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Man, one of the game's elite shooters, and Towns' sweet stroke definitely extends to the free throw line. Impeccable from the line since halftime.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws. And with the most recent collective bargaining agreement, Tim, teams have felt the pinch of those new luxury tax and apron penalties.
Yeah, and the goal of those being put in place was to have more top-tier talent equally spread out around the league. And as you've seen, there's been some tough decisions already. Some teams have had to trade away some of their stars just to make the math work.
And sometimes it's hard to make that math work. There's so many moving parts.
And as a result, it's more important to be able to structure out your supporting cast than ever before.
Edgecombe with it. In the corner, Knueppel with it. Towns. It's good on the putback.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Pass to Thompson. Can they get it? And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. And he's still going, but Tim, Klay Thompson has always been celebrated for his run with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, Kevin, 4 titles, 5 All-Star appearances, 37 points in a quarter. Klay and Steph comprising quite possibly the greatest backcourt tandem in league history.
So, Tim, when you played, you were one of the league's best sharpshooters. Did you ever look around and pick things up off of other guys you watch shoot the ball well.
No question. In fact, I learned a lot about how to move off the ball by watching other guys as I made my way through college and eventually became a pro. And even when I was in the league, I would study other players to pick up things on their footwork and how to get my release a little bit quicker.
Give me one player that you really studied hard.
Well, there's no question Del Curry was a guy I watched because he needed very little time to get that shot off coming off of his screen. And unfortunately, several times I got there late against him and learned my lesson.
They're making this a runaway.
And the only question for me right now is just how big the lead will eventually become.
Rodman sends a screen to the middle. It's rebounded by Booker. Outside, Malone. It's stolen by Rodman. Here's Knipple. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Now in his late 30s, Steph Curry, Tim, continues to be a dominant force.
Well, his conditioning is on a world-class level, Kevin. He's never been one to beat you with his explosiveness, so his plan is just to outlast his opponents.
I've always admired the impact that Steph Curry, Tim, has made on this game, and not only at this level, but at every level. With that in mind, do shooters train differently in part because of him?
Yeah, I believe they do, Kevin, but you got to beware. This is a guy that's often imitated, rarely replicated. He is so special, but I think guys need to add escape dribbles, the sidestep dribble, and certainly deep shooting off the dribble. That's where Steph Curry has impacted the modern shooter.
That's good advice. And the free ball is good.
Well, Knipple projects as an elite shooter whose range and quick release make him a constant threat.
Pass to Malone. And it's slammed in by Malone.
Well, this is a good reminder for anybody who thinks he's too small for a 5. His athletic ability totally levels the playing field.
Knipple wide open and he fires. Drills it from outside. Knipple's got 8 points here in this quarter. Now Booker. So when you look at different approaches to player recovery, from load management, say, Tim, to rub some dirt on it and get back in there, where do you stand on all of that?
Well, I do think teams have done a better job of trying to make sure players are protected from themselves and make sure they're getting enough rest. But I also think there are times guys should be allowed to play through certain types of minor injuries.
.54 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And there's the 3-second call, this one on the defense. And no good on the technical, so unable to pick that one up.
Checking in for the away team, Mitchell Robinson. Jamal Murray.
There's 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Tries the spin move. Rodman. Robinson pulls it in. Rodman with the block. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by White. .36 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Knipple. Rodman sets a screen, and he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's on Mitchell Robinson.
Not just a perimeter threat, Knipple uses his strength and craft to challenge teams inside.
And he makes both free throws. 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Landale. For 3, Murray. Rebounded by Rodman. Now Knipple. And he uses the glass on the layup.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
When someone is rolling like this, just keep feeding him. That's just great coaching.
And so the home crowd treated to a win.